How deep can I go in it? Like, am I allowed to swear and stuff?
You can say whatever you want.
We were just talking about this on the podcast, and it was a lad's nickname who's himself, and his nickname is Petter Check Your Pants. And this really tickled me. Hi, I'm Peter Crouch. This is my fives on SPORTbible. Who's in goal? There's a bit of deliberation here because I want to put a couple of my mates in, but I can only put one in. So David James, I think, is a massively underrated goalkeeper. I think he was class and played with at Portsmouth, and he's an animal, built for goalkeeping. But I'm going to go with Pepe Reina. What a legend, on and off the field. And my team's made up of people I want to spend time with as well, right? So I'm putting Reina in.
Why was Reina so good?
Like someone who just wanted to fit in, like, and kind of embraced, should we say, English culture. A legend of a man and a fantastic goalkeeper. You see, like, even with the Spain squads, you know, he didn't play 1 minute, and he's the first one that everyone wants to be with to have a bit of fun. Legend and a great goalkeeper in a good Liverpool side then. Now I saw Defoe's one of these, right? And he mentioned Ledley King. I got to say the same thing. I came through with Ledley, and I was probably 13 when I first met him, and I was just blown away by technically he was the most gifted footballer we had in the team, and he was a centre half. It was absolutely insane, and obviously a good friend of mine. So yeah, Ledley. The King goes in. And yeah, if he didn't have the injuries, this is a fit Ledley. Like I've never seen anyone bring the ball out of defence in the way he did. He's one of those centre halves that never got his short stay, you know, and a great lad as well. Okay, first midfielder. I think this is pretty self-explanatory, really. This one, skipper as well. I feel like I'm doing like a tactics board or something. I think anyone would tell you. Even England players, you know, the best player in training every single day, could win a game on his own. I could put him there or there, and he'd be the best player on the pitch. I think he dragged kind of Liverpool to the 2005 European Cup final, you know, along with, you know, some key men in there. But I think, you know, his influence on that was the reason they won it. I'm standing here, an FA Cup winner, because Stevie G was in my team, and yeah, just a winner. I can't see him losing this five-a-side either. The other midfielder. To and fro. I mean, I've got lots of fantastic players I played with, but Luka Modric is the man going in. I never saw him give the ball away. Literally, the whole time I was at Tottenham, and I'm talking about training as well. He'd been in situations, and he'd just have this like little sneak hips, and he'd get out of situations, and you'd think, how has he done that? You know, he'd lose 2 or 3 men with these snake hips, and. Just unbelievable, passionable, dictated the game. People always talk about small players and think, oh, you know, they can't make it. Luka Modric ran football matches, you know. He wasn't big. He wasn't, you know, a box-to-box midfielder. And quite often on the stats, he was so you know, he wouldn't be the highest on assists, but an absolute genius of a footballer and one of the best lads you'll ever meet. So obviously really pleased to see him you know, go on to achieve what he's achieved. This is a toughie.
You can't say yourself, unfortunately.
No. I won't get in this team. This is where I belong. I'm trying to think. But you know, because this is a five-a-side team, I'm going to put the best five-a-side player I've ever seen. So I thought about Bale. I thought, you know, watching him tear apart Maicon, score a hat-trick in the San Siro, you know, him become the player that he became. Robbie Fowler, one of my favourite players to watch, managed to share a dressing with him. Fernando Torres was on absolute fire when I played with him at Liverpool. Rafa van der Vaart. So there's a few that I've left out, but the player I'm going to put in is the best five-a-side player I've ever played with. And I think if you've got Ledley, Modric and Stevie, right, supplying him in a five-a-side match, I mean, he could get a shot off from anywhere. You give him the ball within half a second, it's in the back of the net. You score 5 goals within 1.5 minutes in a five-a-side match. And yeah, he was unplayable in five-a-side. I'm going to go for Petr Cech. I'm smiling because I've just done my podcast before, and we had an email in about someone's nickname. How deep can I go in it? Like, am I allowed to swear and
You
stuff?
can say whatever you want.
We were just talking about this on the podcast, and it was a lad's nickname who himself, and his nickname is Petter Check Your Pants. And it's really tickled me. Better Check Your Pants because it incorporates 2 words. It's brilliant. Anyway, he was a class act. Like at Chelsea at that time, defensively, like was ridiculous. They were so good with obviously Terry, Carvalho, Ferreira, Ashley Cole, and in the midfield as well, like Essien just sitting in front of him. But Petr Cech, he was so good around in those days. So he goes in. Yeah, defender. This was early days for me. But Tony Adams, do you know why? Because he schooled me. He absolutely. And I was thinking, Nesta, I played against Nesta, but then I scored against that Milan team. Played against Rio, and obviously JT was so difficult to play against. Big Sol Campbell, really hard. But Tony Adams, I remember I was at QPR, and I thought I'd scored a load of goals in what was the old Division 1 Championship. And I thought, yeah, I'm a Premier League player. And then I came up against Tony Adams, and I was like, well, maybe I'm not. Yeah, whatever he did, he would get in front of you. If you waited for the ball, he'd be in front of you. If you tried to back off, or if you came forward towards the ball, he'd be right up your. He had an amazing way of like positionally knowing where you were going to be and what you were going to do and stopping it. And good on the ball, the way he talked, the way he spoke, he was commanding. One of probably the best I played against, I think, at that time. The thing is, I can't not put him in, right? And he's going to play in midfield, he can play anywhere. The best player who's ever walked the planet. Played against him for Barcelona. We actually won in the Nou Camp, and I came on for 30 seconds. And I remember we were winning 2-1. Risa and Bellamy both scored. They threw the ball down the line to me, and I held off Puyol, got a foul, put my hand on the ball, and I think that's the reason we won. If I hadn't have seen the game out, we might have drawn that, So, the fact to have been on the same pitch as Lionel Messi, or to watch him for a game, I think there'll be times where people who have been to see kind of Barcelona with Messi in his heyday, or if you've watched Argentina, or people who have seen him live, I think you'll, in 10, 20, 30 years' time, you can tell your grandkids that you saw Messi play, because I think that's the kind of level of what we're watching. I hope I spelled this right. Yeah, there we go. I'm putting him in with Iniesta, right, his old mate. But I remember when he played for Spain, and it was Old Trafford before when Wembley was getting built. The instruction was just get round the deep line midfield player, I was like, well, that deep line midfield player could be Iniesta, Xavi, or Busquets. So any time I was trying to get round him, I was like, it was highly embarrassing. And they could just make you look stupid. And that was the best midfield probably of all time that played together. And he, for me, was the best of those. Xavi, obviously, they're all good in their individual rights, but Iniesta was just similar to Modric, where you just never saw him give the ball away. Someone who just received the ball, and it was like first touch wasn't even a thing. It was already on the next thing. His touch was so silky, absolute genius. And he once asked me for a photo.
No way.
Yeah. He came over and said, can I have a photo? I said, not now, Andre. Not now, mate. I'm busy with the family. But yeah, that was my claim to fame for a while. No one believed me on my podcast for ages, and finally found the photo. Okay, yeah, I'm going. It's a bit obvious, but I've gone Cristiano. I played against him quite a few times in a World Cup. Obviously, we did the particular game where Rooney got sent off. That was mad. Manchester United, Real Madrid, and not many people would know it. I played against him in the under-18s, and he was playing for Portugal under-18s, and I was playing for England, obviously. And I was on the bench, and I obviously didn't know who these players were. We had Ronaldo on one wing and Quaresma was on the other. I'm not joking, it was unbelievable. Like what I was witnessing was just, I remember Quaresma passing it over to Ronaldo, like 60-yard passes, and Ronaldo was controlling it on his back and then just getting at the defender. And obviously, the amount of step overs that you used to see and stuff. And it was just, I felt like we were witnessing something. But then what Ronaldo went on to achieve, he just became ruthless and ended up just becoming this ruthless goal scorer, and that's why he's in the team. How well he's going to get on alongside Messi and Iniesta, I'm not sure, but I'll put him in there anyway, and I'm sure they'll work it out.
Is Ronaldo about to rival you on the podcast scene?
Apparently so, yeah. Apparently so.
Think you can get the better of him there rather than a football pitch? Or?
I'd say so. I reckon so. Content-wise, yeah. Numbers, perhaps no.
Who's winning? Which team?
I want to stick with my teammates, you know what I mean? But they have got Messi and Ronaldo in there, which makes it difficult. But in a five-a-side, I think this could be fractious. So I'm going to stick with my boys.
And who would you prefer to play with?
Well, these are my teammates. You know what I mean? They're my mates as well.
Most importantly, then, which team would you rather have a night out with?
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's the one. I mean, listen, I think it'd be pretty interesting to have a night out with these boys as well. Tony, not so much now.
Lastly, who's social sec then?
Who's in charge of the night out? Pepe Reina. Totally trust him with that, completely. Luka as vice captain.
Anyone that you particularly had like really tough days against?
Check.
No. Joe Hart? No. Van der Sar? Always scored against him.